All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest today in the house here at the Schmidt Show.
Welcome back, everybody.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So we have Brian Jacques. He hails all the way from Cottam now. And Brian, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Just a brief thing about me and Brian. We know each other from the factory days. I met you, and then I know your dad. I know your mom a little bit, not personally too much, but I know her. I've seen your wife before. Jackie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good memory, right?
Yeah.
No, I looked you up yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was like, when did you meet her? Yeah.
No, I remember what's your mom's name?
Joanne.
Okay, so I'm like, I thought it was Jackie was in my head, but then I'm like, no, that's his wife. So I'm like, Helen, help me remember all this stuff. So I get like super pro tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so man, like, what are you up to these days?
These days, raising a family,
Yeah.
working for a living.
Yeah.
At my own business. At my own business, I'm, which is almost more work than working for someone else.
It's more work, dude.
Yeah, it's like
more stress.
twice as more work,
100
twice as much work,
100%.
but twice as much benefits and rewards too. There's a lot of
Well, you wouldn't do it if that didn't.
Yeah.
If that wasn't there, the stress isn't worth it. Then you might as well
Yeah.
get an hourly job or a salary job then, and walk home 8 hours and not have to worry about a problem after that.
yeah, exactly.
And you know what that's all about now.
Yeah.
So what is that you do?
So I teach instruments and vocals.
Yeah.
The four main ones I teach is guitar, vocals, piano, and drums, and then I'll mix in some ukulele and bass in there. So people
really?
come along, they want to learn ukulele. You know, okay, let's do it.
Your set. I saw his set yesterday. He showed me his website, and it's phenomenal. Like that, my set does not compare to his. What he's got going on over there. I definitely have to make a visit there. So. But he's being a little modest. He's also a very talented musician. Haven't heard you play in a long time, but I watched that video yesterday, and the quality, your singing voice is amazing, dude. I don't remember it being that good. I'm not saying it was bad.
Thank you.
It was like so long ago, you know, and me and you would jam. Well, you jam, and I'd grab your guitar once in a while and butcher just about everything.
You come out at my acoustic shows. That was
They were fun, dude. And then we did the one show at Twix, I think. That was a lot of...
I feel like you came up a couple times.
Yeah, it was, you know what, every single time, though, it was just, I was in those days where I was hurting a little bit, you know, like I was right where I was trying to manage my addiction problems at that time. But I'm not going to say that those days were not fun, because when we jam together, or even you, I watch you, and your music is incredible. And you're a songwriter as well, right?
Yeah.
So how many songs have you written?
I've been a part of writing probably hundreds. They don't all get released. It's art, right? So you're
100%.
creating all the time.
Are you on a label at all?
No, just always
your
been
own?
independent.
If you're private, that you're doing well, man. Like for the quality.
It's always been independent, yeah. And we tried to. I was in a band, Intrameridian, in the early 2000s, and we did that for like 10 years or more. And
that was
Intrameridian.
Okay.
And we were like an 89X style band, alternative,
Yep.
modern rock.
Yeah.
And we opened up for actually some really cool bands, like Alexis on Fire, Social Code. I don't know if you remember those bands.
Yeah,
Green Whale, and a whole My Darkest Days. So we opened up for some bands who were on more of like a national level. So we were like in the minor leagues of rock.
Okay, so I remember those, like even with my band, Early Cash. So we played, like we did more festivals. We went out in Woodstock, played there, not the Woodstock, in Woodstock here in Canada. That's where we played. But people reached out from there, so we would do bigger festivals.
Oh yeah.
They don't pay, like to make music here in Canada. You don't make a killing on it, man. Like you know how shows are. Like, what did you guys charge as a band? Like going in, like, and you guys were good.
Well, to be honest, I don't think we ever really focused on the charge, how much we were charging, because we were just excited to get a show.
I know,
like
us
you
too.
talked about, we were maybe like, oh, can you open up for?
Away.
Yeah, can you want to open up for this like good band? Or we would go play in Michigan, and we played some really good venues there, and they were like these nice rock halls, and they would have some local bands from there, and then we would come in, and I think we were making a couple $100 for gas in our stay.
Just to get there, you pay for your thing.
But it's like it is today. You give your art away, you create attention, and then you charge for something else. So this is up to us if we wanted to charge, sell CDs at the time or merch.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's the same thing. You're not going to make a song, and someone asked me, "Oh, I like your new single. How much money do you make for the video?" And I'm like, "There's no money in it."
People think you make a lot of money.
There's no money. It's now. you put good things out there and good things happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So things are going to come in, but I don't know what they are yet. So
They could be affiliates of the brands that you're using.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's what the goal is here. So I use everything Rodecaster. I keep talking about these
that's
guys.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
So like YouTube will approach you and they're like, or the company will say, hey, look, we love your set. You're getting, and they push you. The YouTube will actually say, hey, look, do more. And they post your video out more on the algorithm. So, and then the company approaches you about whatever you're showing or whatever you're talking about. And I mentioned Rodecaster a lot, and then a lot of times they'll ship you stuff and pay you for put those commercials on. So that's just not, and you don't even need monetization for turned on YouTube for that. You can get that before that. Like you need 500 subscribers or 4,000 hours, whatever that is, whatever comes first.
Right.
So ran out of breath on that one.
No, it's okay.
But what were we saying about? Okay, so what got you into music?
So this time around? Or
No, the
in
first
life?
time. Like, was it your mom's? She used to sing
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Is that what got you into?
I grew up around music. I have a picture. So there's a guitar that I teach with. It's
Yeah.
a Fender Malibu.
Yeah.
And I have a picture. Oh, nice.
It's a Fender Malibu. Oh, it's a Malibu.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like old guitars, but
It's a small body, but yeah, go ahead.
I have a picture of me. I think we showed it on the table at my at our wedding or something like that. But there's this picture of me where I'm crawling on it. I got like diapers on.
No.
So I was crawling, and my mom was writing songs in front of me.
She's always been musical
when
then.
I was 1 or 2.
So I didn't know
Right.
that.
And then she was in a big gospel team at our church. And it was big. They had a horn section, they had a choir, they had amazing singers. They had a really great main worship leader guy who played the rock guitar.
Church music
and
is good, man.
It was a big thing, and I grew up hanging out around giant band practices where they were working parts out. And I remember getting an ear as a young kid and being like, "Oh, they messed that part up," and kind of like I could participate in my head. And I'm like 5, and I'm like, "Oh, they were supposed to go high there."
Oh,
Or
look
like,
at you-
I
at a young
remember
age.
that. Yeah, at a
So-
young age. So I was just around it. I think anyone can do music. I guess people go, "Oh, you're either born with it or you're not." But I've seen people who
Oh, there's people that are deaf-tone. I found that out.
I know, but I've seen a lot of people who you would have thought couldn't play, but
Yeah.
when they got they took it up later,
Yeah.
it came out of them because they got the exposure. So there's a bit. I think more
Yeah.
people can do it than people think.
Well, I didn't start till I was like 33, maybe. That's when I learned to play guitar
Yeah.
a little bit. Because of my band.
That's late. That's
know.
late, but not in like I have some 60-year-olds coming to me. They just want to play campfire songs on a guitar.
And if they can get that far, 3 chords, and you know what, you know how many songs you can play
100%.
off 3 chords?
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, you pick up as musicians, you pick up these little mistakes that you make, but most of the crowd never catches that. But you're a guy I see as pretty specific, and you make a mistake, it's got to be like as far as music. Well, you don't make any mistakes anyway, as far as like, but you would pick that apart. Okay, guys, let's work on this as a band, and being in a band. That's another question I got to ask. I know when I played, when you want to be good, we had to practice twice a week because we were doing 1 show a week. And if we didn't, we weren't tight.
Yes.
I mean, for the most part, no one would hear it, but we wanted to bring out the quality too.
Yeah.
So you feel the same way? If you didn't practice, did that ever happen to you?
So for frequency of practicing, so there's two styles. You got your cover band who plays all the time and they're great at their songs, and because they're playing live regularly, they can take the foot off the gas pedal and not practice. They don't have to cram as much.
Yeah.
But then the rock band, because of the nature of it, is you create a lot, and then you have a show that's coming up in 2 months or a month, and then you're being creative, not very specific in your practice. And as that show comes up, 3 weeks out, you're practicing twice a week. 2 weeks out, you add a third one. And then like the week of, it's like 3 in a row before the show. And then when you get up there, you are not thinking about what you're playing, and now you can make eye contact.
And you know.
It's absorbbed into the body. The set.
I know the feeling.
There's no thinking. Yeah,
You
I
can
know.
tell if
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
pissed off because I'm like, change it, you know what, or something, or happy, and whatever that, you can see the eye like language. When I looked over my lead guitar, he looked over and he already knew what we were talking about. Like it was that good. So another question about your music. What is the I want to say like not necessarily most popular or best and most popular band that you guys ever opened up for?
So opening up for is probably Alexis on Fire.
No shit.
Yeah, and they that's a big band in Canada. I mean, and it was cool. We were like playing basketball with Dallas Green backstage.
Isn't
and,
that
like,
cool?
Yeah, and he was like,
Where
it was
was this
funny
at?
because he was playing a little bit dirty. It was at the University of Windsor.
Okay.
And it was like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And
Our glory days.
yeah. But there was some other bands too that we opened up for, and we're really proud of it. Was that our best show? I don't know if it was our best show. I feel like some of the local, some of the rock shows we played in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, and some of these places. They have local rock bands who are like they got fans, and they would throw a show, and we would be on with them. And there was this one, I remember I looked out and I was like, the upper tier had people up there and they were doing this for like our music too. Way. And it was like, wow, like that felt so good.
I believe that.
But it's weird. We used to chase that, but now it's like, I don't know.
Well, it fed ego, right? And you know what? To a degree, it's okay. I had a hard time handling a thank you. So I had somebody once come up, more than once, maybe like 3 times. I don't want to brag about this. They wanted my actual signature. I'm like,
yeah, we used to sign stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like, can I have you? And it was just a little girl. She'd come up, and I'm like, wow. But it's like that. When someone said you're really good, I had a hard time with that. Like, we love how you sing. We love the presence that you bring. We appreciate that you come out. I had a hard time saying, like, it's not that I appreciated them saying that, but I didn't think I was worth that. I didn't think that I was that good.
You were uncomfortable taking the compliment?
Yeah, I've always had.
Oh, that's a whole. We're about to go down a rabbit hole now. Yeah, that's a whole thing we can.
Well,
pull
we're
apart
getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So here, and then this is what I wanted to get. So I've got a little setup
That's a
there.
good one.
So it's kind of actually following right along. But you're right, because I have a heart. But we're gonna hit that too. So we're gonna move into when did it unravel for you? Me and Brian talked about this yesterday. So we kind of pre-planned
before
this.
entering in recovery and getting
whatever happened. Like what happened? Like unravel. I mean, like when did it start to like fall apart a little bit? Your life, whatever you can talk about whatever you want to.
Yep.
So
So the unraveling, which actually I'm grateful for today.
Yeah,
because now I've gotten to be re-raveled.
Look at you, unbelievable.
Sure, thank you. I really appreciate that. I noticed in my 20s, like, I just noticed something was missing. Like, it just felt like I was a sadness that usually wasn't there when you're a kid. You know, when you're a kid, you're like not really sad about stuff. You're 8 years old. You're like thinking about the next thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, just a lot of just sad moments. I think I was starting to cope with everything. It could have been gigs I was playing. It could be needing the approval from someone who liked my music. It could have been booze. Yeah. You know, it could have been all these things. You're coping unhealthy to try to fix something you're not really aware of. And then we got married. We're having a house.
Yeah.
We're doing life, and my businesses are failing. I'm getting fired from my jobs.
Did you get fired there?
It was like sort of like a letting go fire
like
slash
me.
at the same time. They were like, "Can we pay you to leave? Can we pay you to leave?
Hey, if you just leave, here's your walk-in papers, and they give a little bit of money. That's always a good incentive."
But it unraveled over time, and and then I noticed that now I'm having more like breakdowns and crying, right? And like you just notice that, and then the marriage ain't doing that good. All of a sudden, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And now I'm. We're getting split up a couple times, or we're splitting
because of your. And now, is this because of how you were acting? Because of some of the stuff that you were like, let's just say, if it's alcohol or some drug or whatever you're doing, that you're feeding yourself because you're feeling empty inside. So, are you? Is this now you're gone home from too long? Is that what the problem was?
Well, the problem why we would get split up and then I would hit these rock bottoms. Right. Is I have like. I have to battle not being depressed. I was diagnosed major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. And didn't know it. So you're like, what is this? And all of a sudden I'm taking trips to the psych ward because they're like, what's wrong with him? You can't get off the couch and you're shaking.
You don't feel.
And then mixed with, for me, I guess I won't be, but it was booze and then another drug of choice, right? I don't want to.
Yeah, drug of choice.
I don't think it matters. That's the thing, because a lot of people like to judge.
You're the problem, not the substance.
That's all you were taking. Oh, well, I was on this, and it's like it doesn't matter, man.
I just drink. No.
Yeah, right. So mixed together, I'm not a productive member of society. I'm a mean person. I become the other Brian, right? Yeah. Like Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. All of a sudden.
That's
and then I had to get recovery because she was like, I'm done, right? And she was my high school sweetheart.
Point.
She was like, we're done. Like this ain't working. And then I got fired again from another job, and my business failed again if I was trying to start one, right? And
well,
and then here's the thing that took it away from me.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out why I constantly go right back right now. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so and you know what did it for me?
Yeah.
Was just being very dark in my mind all the time.
And you knew.
And then I was like, and images of negative stuff. And that was the symptom of depression.
Exactly.
There you go. Sorry, you got to make a little.
No, and you know what? Honestly, I keep the words pretty clean on this show because YouTube is quick to
they got an algorithm.
Give you a
Yeah.
they'll give you a strike on that. You only get 3,
No worries.
and then you get them back. No, and then that's
I
when
just
you
feel
said
like
that.
you got to go find it now. So.
No, when I come across it, I'll just edit it real quick.
Okay,
It's
sounds
this
good.
Thing, this thing's a rock star.
Sounds good.
So you had some dark images in your head, which I've had.
Yeah.
And I'll explain it this way. I remember going in rehab, and this is a quick story. When I went and the doctor asked me and she was diagnosing and whatnot, it's my very first trip, and I was so ashamed because I didn't know that, depression, it felt like I was a weak man. Supposed to be a family guy, strong man, right? That's your typical whatever. So I go in and I was afraid to say that word, that I was that low. And then she made it easy for me. And it's hard to even say today. But she said, Dave, if you went outside and went out into the street and a truck hit you, would that be okay? I said, yeah, that'd be okay. And that's the truth. And she said it in a way where I'm like, that was actually relieving to say. In a way where finally it came out of me where I was able to say something to somebody. Now I tell everybody those thoughts and whatnot and where I was, because I think it helps somebody because they're not willing. Some people are just not there yet, and they need to hear it from somebody that they were in that shoe. So anyway, that moment helped me the most when she said that to me. If she put it in a way where she knew I was in trouble, I was in trouble. So, but I was too ashamed to say like the real word. But I can't remember her name, but kudos to her if I ever run into her again. But anyway, so relating to what you said, right? So going from there, so you went there. Okay, so your wife's at the end of the line. She's kicked you out a couple times, whatnot. Yeah. Okay, so what happens now?
You're willing to do anything to get things back.
Oh, yeah.
Which isn't the ultimate. It's not the best motivator for someone to stay in recovery and stay on the path, but it's good for a while. Getting things back.
100% it is.
Good. You do it to get things back. And I just wanted to also relieve this anguish I was in. And then some people said, try counseling. I did counseling.
I've done it.
I did treatment centers, right? I went to the psych ward. It's all
too,
part of it. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. And then I also went to Homewood, if we can mention names. It's in
Yeah,
Guelph.
you can. Yeah.
So then, but it's all a conglomerate. I don't think any one thing was the ticket, but I eventually just started to do all the things, counseling, right? But I think what really did it, what one thing that was special, was getting into a fellowship, a 12-step program, which was NA, right, and for me, and some people it's like AA or CA and this and different. Doesn't matter. But here was the thing I was missing was clean people in my life, community,
good people,
right, and I was
you are who you surround yourself with.
People, but you are exactly so. But I didn't know how to stay clean, and now I have a ton of friends who do.
Yeah. And
it's like, you can call them. And that's the whole idea. That whole thing around the program of 12 steps is you can only keep what you have by giving it away. So,
have to give it away.
So you have to be in the service of others to stay clean as well. And it's helping me like crazy. And now I help other people.
And that can come in different ways. I mean, and I had someone recently say like, you know what, they've been not good at it and, they reached out and I'm still able to, hey, look, my life, they're like, how did you do it? How are you where you are? I said, I don't have great days every day. I don't. I have to maintain what I have. Now, I'm out of that recovery stage. I still see those friends all the time, like you. But I did this to get my family, to my daughters back in my life. So at that moment, I just thought I was spending too much time there. I wasn't getting anything back. And I was I was doing too much sponsorship. And that's all I was doing. I didn't really, okay, listen, I'm one way or the other. You know how we are. I'm selfish that way. Now that recovery, that 12-step program definitely helped me realize everything. It was like, wow, I am a selfish guy. Before I didn't think I was, you know what I mean? But I know in reality, I think everybody has that in them. But my biggest problem too was being a people pleaser. You got any of those traits?
Yeah. People pleaser.
No, literally, I'll say yes to you. I want to say no.
Yeah.
It sucks.
No, I had to, Well, and it's a work in progress, but I had to jump
always
those hurdles when I was running my own business, because you'd have, say you're doing renovations, right? I'm doing a renovation for someone, and they're like, "Oh, can you just throw some tile on this wall?" And you're like, "Sure." And you're not
3
charging
hours
for it.
later,
Yeah.
say 2 days later, you're not getting paid any more than what you said.
Yeah, that
No.
kind of thing, right?
Especially in business at first, because
Or employees.
Oh yeah,
You have to learn to set healthy boundaries with employees
all about
without
that.
them walking all over you.
I learned about. I pick my battles, man.
Yeah.
And I used to just, I was too, like, I would give too much at first for when we had a good job and we did well. I still do it, but I've known, like you said, to moderate that. But no, so what? So were you in renovations then at first?
I did that. So I've been in recovery and like the re-raveling of my life for 9 years,
I like the
coming
way you
up
put
on
that.
9 years.
Yep.
And for the first half, so 4 or 5 years, I did my own renovations and construction business.
Okay.
So I made a living doing bathrooms, siding.
Are you good?
Very good.
Really?
I'm
Guitar good?
I do it as like
Guitar good?
artist.
No.
I do it like an artist.
Don't look at my stuff around here, man. I just pieced it together.
No. But like I would.
Really?
I'm not trying to brag, but I would get hired to do like the European stand-up shower in some like high-end home, and they would want this tile looking like.
I know you, and if you did that with compared to your music, you're doing good. Like you did good work. Now, did you charge what you were worth?
I charged what I could and still get a referral. So
I know.
being like
being
you could
fair.
have charged on some jobs, I could have charged more.
Yeah.
And but that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
you learn your lessons.
And here's the thing: every time I did a good job and I cleaned up my side of the street, meaning even if the customer had they were like, I thought it was going to be a little more like this. Okay, no problem, and I fix it. You'd still get the referral, right? But the second you start going, I didn't.
But you don't want to
didn't pay
always
me
be
for
that guy working for the cheap guy. You'll get known for that too sometimes. And I tell some people that are in business.
Oh yeah,
'cause
yeah.
They're always trying to. They're undercutting everybody. I'm like, do your worth, man. At least stay in boundaries of what you guys work for. Especially when you say that you're that good. And I know when you say it, and with the recovery stuff that you've done, that's real. Like to me, and like even
I
with
wasn't that good at first, but I
but
got
it takes
to be
time.
that good.
Yeah, and me too. With tree removal, I wasn't as quick and efficient. I was always very careful. Still am, especially with safety. But then I got better and better. And my time is everything, and the skill that I bring, and just like you, same thing as you learn. But okay. So, what made you start your own business? Like, because everybody in my era, like in my time when I started, I had nothing. I had a pickup truck. I couldn't borrow $1, so I had to go on what I had. And then I only had 2 people that were really in my corner and said, "Yeah, Dave, we've always seen it. And you go for it." I had nothing to lose anyway. I was broke. I just came out of rehab.
Yeah.
$0, dude.
A lot of people in recovery start their own businesses because they learn things that a lot of people who never hit rock bottom get to learn.
Yeah.
So you learn all of a sudden these things like honesty,
Yeah.
willingness, or like service. Like you get a different posture in the way you conduct business versus someone who's just like, I'm out here to make the most money.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's just something I've noticed.
No, money. Okay, so there's another thing I'm going to talk about with business. So that now that we're on that, when I started business and then I started making some money, I'm like, wow. For once, I was able to pay for your dinner at dinner and didn't have to dive out to the bathroom. So when the bill came, I'd look for it, and that's just who I was, because I live paycheck to paycheck, which is nothing wrong with that. I've mentioned that before. I think 98% of the world actually does, and it's okay. But it was finally nice to have a few checks banked, right? Saving some money. Now, I found out, it took about 3 months, and I want to see your opinion on this. For that it made me feel great, but it rubbed off. It was shiny only for that long, and then I'm like, now what? What's this whole journey to get to where I wanted to be now? It rubbed off, doesn't make me happy. Yeah, don't get me climbing and tree removal. It's all good. Now I've started this. It's all good. The shine's gonna wear off yet a little bit. I'm always gonna love it, but that's the breaking point when the money didn't do it for me anymore. Now I'd ask other business guys. Now what? What happens now? What's the next thing? So you either grow, kind of stay stagnant, whatever you want to do. But you know what happens when you stay stagnant, or you go do things that you love. But that's why I started my business, because I want to do things I love, things like this.
Yes.
So-
I think the way, prove me wrong. I think the way to stay full of life in your business and your daily life
Yeah,
is to be in service to others.
100%.
So if you're out there and you're measuring your success by a growth chart or like how much is in your bank account.
I was at first.
That shine
I was
wears
at
off.
first, man.
And I think there's a place and the time for that because you get to measure yourself and you're trying to do good. But if you want to keep doing it, like here's the thing: is I was trying to figure this out. I'm like, how am I going to retire? And then I'm like, what? Wait, what is that? Why is there such a cultural thing about when you retire and your pension thing? I'm like, why can't I be 70 something years old and given a piano lesson or a guitar lesson? But not for the money, but because I love seeing someone else get the gift,
dude.
So it's your posture.
That gift that you had.
It's the posture, right? It's a different aim.
Man, you know what? I've trained 5 climbers now, and 4 of them have started their own businesses and to watch them flourish.
That's it, right there.
And people usually say, "Oh, you'll lose them. You train them. Don't do it. Give it away. Don't hold on to it. It comes back tenfold. Sometimes in money, and sometimes in different ways. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I watch people, and I'm like, I can tell who's going to move a little quicker. So I got my new nephew coming on, so he's doing great. But man, it's a great way to look at it. But I had to realize that at first, even though knowing where it came out of, that now because the money was starting to come in, but then stress hit. And
the money doesn't mean nothing if you ain't got your piece.
Dude, honest to God, no one told me when you make money that stress would come along with it.
Yeah.
So after I ran that shine wore off. Okay, so now, like people pleasing, all that, I had to work on that.
Oh, people pleasing will kill you.
And then I had to learn how to shut it down around 5 o'clock. Like, okay, I'm only answer the phone calls that your friends, you know, or the clients. If they do call, you said okay, blah blah blah, because I needed to spend family time. I did nothing but people please, and I was always answering my phone. And it took me a couple of years to lay that down. Yeah, did that happen to you? Or were you good just right off the bat?
For what?
Like basically like shutting your business off at a certain time and okay, I need family time.
So
like doing work every day, all day.
No. My first business model was construction and renovations. There's so much detail that goes into people's home projects that you could be thinking about their grout color on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Right? And they certainly are. So you would get phone calls. You'd get phone calls on a Sunday night, be like, we thought this grout color was going to be a different temperature of white. And I'm like, you picked it. You picked it. Yeah. And it's like, how do I, so anyways,
I get it.
We would go on vacation and my phone's going off and you got guys, maybe they're on the job site. And that's my current model now, my business model now of teaching music, producing music, coaching artists.
Yeah.
Teaching kids music, that model is so much more like a popsicle stand where they come grab a popsicle.
Yeah.
I give them a popsicle, they give me money, and then it's done. There's no one calling me on a Sunday night and be like, you know, that lesson was kind of.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a different temperature of white. Like, you know
I bet you the reward is better too, eh?
The reward is cool because we have conversations like this, and even about recovery. I have some clients who come in and they'll be like,
that awesome?
They'll be like, you know, I've been staying clean or staying dry for 2 years, but I don't really know who to talk to about it. And I'm like, wow, so now I'm getting paid to have a conversation about what I love.
That's because you're open to it too.
Yeah.
And people, I think, feel that. I had a doctor once I did a treat down for. He was in recovery. We end up having it. So, So addiction doesn't just run in certain groups. It hits everybody. We
doesn't
know that.
discriminate.
But it's nice feeling to be able to have that conversation. Take the time with your customers. I try to do that.
Yeah. Or even a little kid who doesn't come from a musical family.
Yeah.
And they have no concept of, like, they've never literally clapped to music. I got kids who are 11, 12 years old. They come in.
Oh, they
didn't
no beat.
Not yet, because they weren't around a family where every time like a Disney movie came on, like my family and I were clapping and singing along. We're encouraging, dancing, and singing.
Your dad doing that.
So, but some kids, they come in and I'm like, okay, clap along with me, and I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
And they can't even stay with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And so then I had to rewind it. I'm like, watch this. We're gonna do this when you come in for 5 minutes each lesson. All of a sudden, they're getting it.
That's how you start that.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna take care of that way after.
No, it's okay. I'll just clap. We'll grab drumsticks and I'll start clacking.
Is that how you see where their level, that you gauge where they're kind of at?
It's one of my little things, because here's the thing: is I don't want to teach a kid where to put his fingers very like difficult wise on the guitar or piano, but meanwhile he can't clap yet.
No.
Well, how he's set up to fail. So let's get on time.
Okay.
This is a good one right here. can you be on time?
I might struggle with that.
But
I don't know, man.
There's a lot of cool timing tests I do, and we have fun with it because it's usually a laugh. Because I'll be like, okay, you clap on 1, and I'll do all 4, and I'll go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and they got to try to hit 1, and they're hitting it on the 2 or the 3, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is hard.
And you think that, so that's a great way to look at it. That just always kind of came natural to me. Not that I'm a drummer.
You're a natural musician.
I can literally 100%. But I'm not like, I can hit the drums, but I'm not like you guys. I'm not talented. You play piano too?
Yes.
I did a little. Okay, so theory.
I had to work for it, though. That's the thing. This didn't come just like drop out of the sky.
So you're a real musician.
I had to work my butt off for it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're making it that way because the piano is, I think, really a true form of music because you had to learn theory. And I suck at theory. I'll shortcut things if I can in a heartbeat as far as when I get into music, man. Theory, nope. I'm like.
So are you talking about theory or reading music?
Reading music.
Oh, that's because there's a little bit, there's two subjects there. Yeah, because.
So tell me.
Well, check this out. For me, I can bang out chords and just look at the lyrics and sing because I know I'm in the key of like A. Yeah. That's theory or what chord structure I'm in. But reading reading music and playing sight reading. That's hard.
That's theory, right? That's
a part of theory.
Okay.
Theory can be simple as, hey, what key am I playing in right now? And you're like, okay, there's a G chord, a D chord, a C chord. You're in the key of G.
Yeah, I got
you can do that, right? Dude. Anyways, but sight reading, dude, I don't do that well. I do teach people how to do it. Yes.
You must know how.
Very slowly.
Dude, I know
because it actually gets in the way of creativity.
It does. I agree because it's like you're a robot.
Yeah.
100%. And you know what? I'm getting a little thirsty. We're going to take a little break. Yeah, we're going to do part 2 coming right back. So see you in a bit.
Okay.
And then anyway.
This is such a man cave too.
You know what? I absolutely love it, man. All right, guys. Welcome to round 2 with Brian. Here we go. All right. Over again, man.
Round 2.
I love my music, man. So I don't know.
That's a good one. The Hey song.
Oh, I didn't shut that one off. I love the Star Wars theme. I don't know why I do. I love it.
Yeah.
Then we got the. Oops, sorry. I got like 3. I want to stop messing around. Yeah. I'm so excited for you being here. Honestly, I was a little nervous. You coming? Well, okay. So
I'm nervous.
So we were just talking about what we were talking about, like monetization on YouTube and different things. And what I was going to mention to you about like this, networking with you. So you have your own studio, and I was telling Brian, I said, you'd be a great podcaster. You actually would be, but you have your own business teaching and playing, whatever. It'd be hard for you to find the time. Now, I'm just going to mention quickly, that's what we're building. Our studio is, the other studio is on the other side. A lot of people have already seen that, and it's almost done for people to rent hourly. It'll be an hourly rate or whatever you want. And we're just going through some prices, but I don't want to say prices because I have a different thing I'm part of. They'll strike me on that too. So you got to be careful. Anyway, for now anyway. Yeah. Because that gives, if I give a price now, then people will expect that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so if 100%. I shoot low, then.
Well, you might have to change it, right?
Yeah. And so anyway, about like with you, I know that would be busy, but if anybody of you that are listening, that are following or just see the show, like literally if you want to come out, you're going to have 4 different sets of different themes that you can use. You'll have all sound. You can have, it'll be just like your own show. So if you don't want to throw a ton of money, we have, I don't want to say how much money you got in yours or mine. Like this is insane, but you can come use it for a few $100 an hour, maybe 2. I don't know what it is. Something like that, depending on if you want video or not.
Yep.
And then not throw 20, 30, 40,000 into sound and video alone. And then not only that, the room, you know what I mean, that you need to soundproof everything. So that's the goal there. So I was just saying to Brian, I said, you could always just come out and try it. But your life is busy, your family and stuff like that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. We're talking about monetization, and there's so many different ways. We're talking about affiliates, and then
I've heard of a lot of people talking about how they want to start a podcast. I've probably had this conversation with a half a dozen people.
I believe it.
They're saying, they're like, oh, we should have a podcast. We should have a podcast. So the idea is out there. It's just not part of our, like it's starting to grow where people are going to be like, oh, and when I do my podcast, it'll be a thing that they're going to do. But right now it's like almost like I should have a podcast. And eventually they'll be like, when I start my podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be more normal, what I'm saying, more normal.
Exactly. Having a guy like you on, and look, so with networking, I like bringing different people in. you're a musician, you teach, I don't know a lot of your people that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, take your
I
time.
don't know a lot of people that you know. So this networks me, and when your video comes out, it's going to reach some of those people. They see you on my show, and Brian Jacques on the Schmidt Show. You know what I mean? Whatever it says at the time, and maybe I'll get some followers out of that. Then that grows. That grows to the next people. Hey, did you see Brian on that show?
Yeah.
My name is tagged, and the only way I do that is I go through YouTube, and then I throw it out to Facebook. I never give it away for free anywhere else. So when you go on Facebook, all you gotta do is click the link on your short if it's there. You hit it, and then you go to YouTube because it doesn't count. If you do it through Facebook, you're skipping a spot. If they get to see it on Facebook, you would not go to YouTube to go watch it there. Why would you if you can see it there, right? So you take that short or whatever, your whole video, move it to Facebook, the link, a short. They click it, then it goes to YouTube, and then it counts as your view, or else it wouldn't do it.
Right.
Because I know myself, I'm lazy.
Yeah. You want it to go to YouTube.
Whatever you're using, say you're using Apple or you're on Spotify. I'm on all now. My media manager, Riley, she's awesome. So she does that for me. She's great. She throws you little snippets and we were talking about, and then she spreads it out to all the channels.
Nice.
But the main one is to get them to come here. So
Nice.
the exposure, this is where the show is, and I like YouTube. It's the hardest one to monetize in by far because it just is. It's well known. It's a great community, but man, the one guy, I had a guy come in that I interviewed. He's like, yeah, it's a little whatever, but he's like, yeah, you'll get 1,000 followers after I leave here.
Yeah,
I'm like, you give me 10 followers, I'll give you $1,000 off of YouTube. Listen, I've been in this about a year. I stopped for about 6 months because the work was too busy. I shouldn't have, because you're inconsistent and it's not good for the public. They expect a show once a week or whatever you're doing. And it killed me. So I have almost 100 followers, and I have to do the footloose dance. I promised that to people when that would happen, me and my neighbor. So those are monumental. It's not like Facebook. You got, how many friends you got on Facebook? What do you want to call that?
Friends on Facebook?
Yeah, how many people follow you? 3,000?
Oh, I don't know how many people are
I think it's like
actively
2,700.
following, but it's
No,
like
I know that.
Yeah. How many, like it says friends on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely, it's like halfway there to 5,000. Somewhere like I just feel like
on the metric gauge,
forget.
on the metric gauge to YouTube, 10 followers per probably 500, maybe. That's what you would get. Literally, how often do you take the time to actually follow somebody on YouTube? It has to be pretty serious.
Yeah, it has to be pretty serious because there's a lot of people asking for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people asking for it.
I don't want to ask. Riley tells me to. She goes, ask for it at the end. I said, if I do, I will. But I appreciate everybody, and I feel like I'm begging. I don't want that. Do you know, kind of get what I mean?
Well, there's some... I think that it's okay to ask. It's kind of like it's good to just remind them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be... It's like we want to be humble, but then we also have to say...
Yeah.
We also have to say too is, hey, I'd appreciate a follow or a share.
It means so much in YouTube world,
right? And there's nothing wrong with saying that. But then we don't want to get to the point where I don't know what the right word for
I know what you're saying.
It's like you say it so much, it's like, it feels like one big sales pitch. And it's like, okay.
Because when I watched videos.
Give me something that
nothing
resonates.
Bothered me. Nothing bothered me more when the first thing you're saying is, hey, follow me on this. And it's like, can you at least get through half the video and let me see if I like your show?
Yeah. Well, it's like nowadays we know that we can follow, we know we can share, we know we can like it. You don't have to.
No.
You don't have to say it.
It shows up on your algorithm anyway.
If they do, if they're hovering over it and you're watching enough, it'll just come up there.
Exactly. So, and that's what she told me. She's like, yeah, you need to start humbly asking at the end. We'll figure this out, just to get them to say, hey, I would really appreciate
just a quick one. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
appreciate that.
I always forget though, because I get so wrapped up in my video. And then even in editing, I'm like, but I didn't do it. It's like, but I don't want to make fake videos. I don't.
No.
So I think like when we have good conversation, man, if we're real, that's what sells. I don't want to say it as a sale, but people want to hear real. It doesn't matter in content, whatever you have. Say you're talking about your music and guitar. You know how many times I've been on YouTube, like I want to learn a lick. You know what I mean? And you say you had something up. You probably even do. Or I look at one of your songs and I'll watch your picking, or I'll watch your thumb pattern or your strumming pattern. People look that up. So there's podcasts for you name it. So that's why 97% of podcasters fail only because they quit.
There's a podcast for everything out there, or a YouTube channel for everything out there. Someone doing,
and I couldn't figure out why.
They're an expert at this, an expert at that. Well, people need a space to go learn,
and not only that,
and you can find your thing.
The money's there too.
Sure.
That's why, because at first I thought they're just doing it, and some people do. But there's those big, like the channels, literally, even small channels, making a ton of money. If I'm talking about, like I said, the Roadcaster, if I'm talking about the shirt you're wearing, yeah, Nike's, they're sponsors. So then I have a commercial in the middle of my video coming out. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break with my sponsor. Pretty weird.
Yeah.
If you look over here, mine is higher than everybody else's because my voice, and it is dry in here today.
This is just a sip. I'm not gonna keep gulping it,
dude. We're like 3 balls. He's 3 balls in. I'm a bottle and a half, and not the old stuff either that we used to cope with. But So
that's why I can't drink anymore.
I do still. I have a couple a night, every night. I say it, but it's not like. Sometimes I miss a night here and there, but I just like to take the edge off a little bit. But that back in the day got to the point where that got worse and worse, and it didn't work anymore.
Yeah,
it's like I have 3 or 4 over like 6 hours. Why am I even doing it?
Yeah.
But I like the actual taste, and like, don't get me wrong, it's the effect. I love it. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
But it works because I don't know. I've just been I've done it radio for a little while, and there's other stuff I need to stay away from.
Yeah,
I can't be a part of. And now that the family and friends that I have, and I make sure that old crowd, anybody that's in any of that's not my life anymore, man. That sunk my ship. I remember like when I went out played like at Your Way, or I'd play here in Kingsville, whatever. That man, my ego was so big. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, everybody loved that. And then when I was up at 7 in the morning,
you were living on that. Yeah,
I said one time I was literally I was here in Kingsville, and I'm walking home from my friend's house, no shoes because I don't know where they are. I got a guitar on my back because I don't know where the case is. I'm like, and it's a Sunday morning, dude, and everybody's going to church or work, but I don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, the walk of shame. I couldn't get to my house fast enough, dude. I'm like, please.
With the guitar too, so in your mind, I'm a rock star right now.
Oh,
no
dude.
shoes.
Yeah, and I'm like, but people must be
I've
looking.
Been there, man.
Dude, you know what it's like.
I've been there, man.
We've been there many times.
Yeah.
Was there a key moment that you just? I know you were talking about when your wife. We kind of never stopped that in that conversation there. I just want to clean that up a little bit. So rehab was a part of it. You did that. Like, so your wife was really the turning point there?
Well, that was the catalyst, right? Because you go from living in your home to getting kicked out, right?
You don't even realize how much that you're missing when you actually miss it. Like when it's gone, it's like, oh my God, like I can't just go home when I want.
Yeah, and I mean that exists for a reason, separation, right? Because you can't be under the same house if you're acting crazy and doing all that. So, it was time for me to go and move back humbly into my parents' basement.
Hey, but I did the same. My brother was
not fun. Mentally.
Oh my God. I could only imagine when living with your dad, man. he's a good guy. I know Paul. He's a great guy, but man.
Yeah. So that was a big turning point, and I said, like I said, just constantly, you can't live unless you feel good. I heard this this was like a recovery. It was like a science-based video, meaning that they study the brain, they scan the brain, they study people in recovery or mental health.
Yeah.
Why do they do the things they do? Why do they go back?
Yeah.
You know that you can't mentally picture yourself, or you can't go on for so long without feeling good again. So people that are getting off of something really hard drugs or something.
Yeah. Hardcore.
And then they're like, oh my God, they got 3 months clean. Well, why did they go pick up again? All of a sudden they just had to, and then they throw it all away again after 3 months or 6 months. Because their dopamine and their brain hasn't started to work properly again, and they can't feel good. And you can only do that for so long. You can only not feel good for so long. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
The dopamine, the science behind it, I'm big on that. Almost too big I gotta stop, because if I do too much searching, man, my head goes crazy. But I know the dopamine hits that A receptor, your GABA receptor, just like alcohol. It breaks the blood-brain barrier. I don't know if you know what that means, but it's anything. Your brain is protected, and it tries to protect itself against whatever. But alcohol will break into it and be able to hit your GABA A center. I'm not a scientist or doctor here, but then if you do that, it's like anything else. Your body stops making its own dopamine, and that's why.
Yes, and then now you need that old. And some people, it's like gambling or
That's what is the strangest to me.
Gambling or porn or, you know what I mean?
there's oh my
It's like
God.
you can get so hooked on something, and it could be anything. It could be shopping. And
Yeah.
then now you
money's a
need
big
to
thing.
go do that. You got to be spending $1,000 a week to feel happy. Like some people get into that rhythm, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And that releases your dopamine.
it sure does.
Yeah.
Just temporarily though. But the biggest one that I've never really understood. I get it because I've gambled a little bit and I've gotten excited, especially when you got some money on the line. Now it sucks, man. You go from here.
I never got that bug.
But okay, so me neither.
But I understand
But I
it.
could.
I understand it.
Okay, but the thing is, there's no substance at all. There's no substance to it.
It's just strictly the dopamine
That's just
and
like
the
the porn
momentum
and
and the
that's-
high. Yeah.
But you're
There's
getting
no
some
substance.
reward
Yeah.
out of that at the end, though. You know what I mean? Why do you watch it? To feel good about yourself, to feel good. Now, I don't want to go too far into that anyway. But the gambling part is it's great because I know how that feels, the rush of that, and so there's no substance to it, but it's on its own, and that's how you know that addiction is not just substance. We're not the substance isn't the problem. We're the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're trying to cure the problem with the substance.
Yes.
So in gambling, I guess I get what you're saying. It's the only one I didn't really understand as far as like because it didn't. I needed something that chemically changed me. So whether it was alcohol or drugs, but then again, I used to be a big sports guy, and those things used to make me really happy. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm getting older. I don't really want to play sports anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't played hockey in a long time. I used to. I don't know. I climb now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I want to
that's
wrap
cool.
that part up anyway.
Yeah, that's cool.
So what happened then? You went through rehab. Like, how did you reintroduce yourself to your children? Because that was hard for me to get back into real life. It was a real struggle because I was contained and I didn't for 3 months away from society, and I had a really hard time getting back into that.
Yeah.
How did you do with that?
Very slowly, I guess. Only my son was born at the time, and he was really young.
Okay. How young is young? Because
He was young, so he was only around 2.
okay, that's young.
But it was funny how much you could tell he was picking up on what was going on at 2.5.
They do.
And I remember the first time my wife and I were driving in the car again together, and he was in the back seat. He was yelling out, "Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy."
Really?
And I remember that it's still stuck in my mind. He was putting the two
Wow.
together. He was like, they're back together, and he was excited.
Isn't it amazing?
And I went to pick him up at daycare for my first time. I got the keys back to go get the magnet thing and hit the button. And I was opening up the daycare door for my first time, and everyone there had knew that I was doing better again, and they were excited to see me. And my son did this thing where he went up on his tippy toes, and he started to grab his hair like this. And he knew something was different. Like Dad's back. You know, it was pretty wild.
I just want to make sure I'm recording. Okay.
Take your time.
Honestly, I just
You
want to
gotta
make sure we're recording.
check
Because
those
this is such
cameras.
a good segment because
Yep.
I'm not even going to edit that
Yeah.
because you're almost making me cry here.
Dude,
And
I
I'm a
couldn't
crier,
believe it.
man. I'm a crier. You could break me. Like you start talking like that, but there'd be tears of joy
Mommy,
because,
Mommy, Daddy. Yeah.
dude, like those are moments.
Oh, I'll never forget. He was up on his tippy toes, like trying to pull his hair out, and he was like excited to see me come to his daycare.
it's
They know
him.
so much when they're
Because
little,
you are that. You're there. It's just amazing.
You know
because
what? I believed. This is crazy. So this is me now back in the picture. But before I was back in the picture, my stinking thinking, my negativity was so bad that I was convinced, like you couldn't tell me otherwise. I said, my kids will be better if I'm not in their life. My kids will be better if I'm not around.
I thought the same thing.
Like, and people were like, "What's wrong with you,
was
dude?
causing
Your
them
kids
harm."
are gonna live a second-tier lifestyle if you're not in the picture." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, they'll be better without me." And I'm like,
Dude,
it
same
was
feelings.
crazy. And now I know. Now I see they need me, and I'm a huge champion for them, and it's wild.
You hit a string with me with that because I literally thought the same thing because how I was and what I was doing, I thought I was hurting so many people, and I was. And I said the exact same thing. I'm like, my children, I'm causing. I don't know if that's what you were referring to, but the pain that I think that I was causing, and I know I was, they'd be better if I wasn't in the picture.
I didn't want them to get my habits either, and like see how I did life. I didn't know how to do life.
But how do you see it now? What would now that you're back around? They love you, man.
well,
You're their world too.
Yeah. So my recovery story is one of success and gifts and abundance. Like I think anyone can achieve, right? Like so, I've turned the leaf.
Yeah.
And now now they're going to be a lot better off because they see an example.
You're lucky you got those back. A lot of people don't.
Yeah,
But
I'm very lucky. I got
They
all
live
that
their
back.
lifestyles, and then I had a hard time with that at first. I don't want to get too far into my story, but I had to fight for my children's trust. And then I remember my one daughter once said, "Dad, I forgive you." I'm like, wow, I was never really asking for it. That's just how selfish I was. I thought it was just automatic, right? And it wasn't.
Oh, forgiveness?
Yeah. I never, like literally, I was back in her life for a while already. Then we were driving. She said, "I want you to know I forgive you." And I thought, for what? And then I realized of everything. Like, what was I never asked. And I know forgiveness is for me.
Why? I didn't do anything wrong.
But my daughter is so well ahead of. I think she's ahead. She's so mature.
Yeah.
But I was taught this. Forgiveness is for us. When you ask for forgiveness,
I was just gonna say that.
if they don't have to give it to you, it's you. You were.
Well,
you
we don't
humbly ask for forgiveness. If they don't accept it, you said it and you mean it. That's off your chest, and you don't have to be angry and stuff like that anymore.
Well, when you forgive, like you said, it's for us.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was the other way around.
I'm not forgiving someone so they feel better.
Exactly.
Even though that's hopefully a byproduct. Hopefully they feel better.
Yeah,
I'm not forgetting about them so I get their approval and they can put that feel-good peanut butter all over my heart.
Yeah.
I got to forgive.
Genuine.
I got to forgive someone so I let go
of
the torment I'm putting myself through with this situation.
Of what they put you through, whatever that is.
Because you could hold a resentment toward. I could find a reason to be mad at someone in my past
Dave
and be
did
like,
a shitty job at editing, man. What's he thinking, man? But then we forget about all the positive stuff. We'll see you 99% wrong.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I got a good saying for that.
Go ahead.
Well, it's like more like a story about it.
Yeah.
It's like how we hold on to the negative thing.
Yeah.
If you walk into a party with 100 people, 99 of them love you and they all give you a hug.
Yeah.
But then one person's mad at you in that party, that's going to sit right there. One person hates your guts at that party. It's just going to sear right in your mind.
You're like, but those other 99 people love you, but you didn't notice that.
You didn't notice that. You only picked up on the one person who was mad at you the whole time.
We're going to have to get together more often. You're bringing back a lot of good things, man. You are.
I'm glad you're like, I'm loving our chat, Dave.
Yeah, me too. Advice for others. That words for someone struggling, with addictions in life, problems that have to do with that, and they're going, what would you say? Sum it up in a way where it's not too long, but what would you say? Got some advice for others that are going through what we did at the time?
Yeah. So, mental health, addictions, recovery, a lot of it's the same solutions, right?
100%.
It starts with humility.
Yeah.
So being able to say,
Ask for help.
Ask for help, but then take that ownership of your part in it and try not to so a lot of people want to go, oh yeah, I got all this going on, but look at the way I was raised, or I got all this going on, but she was like this, and they can't just go and take total responsibility. Right, I'm sure. Yeah,
I know. That's
extreme
you
ownership.
look at your.
Right?
We call it. You look at your side of the street. Clean your side of the street. Don't worry about the other person.
So then you come in low. So here's the humble part: is you go in really low and you ask for help. What's our step one? Right? It's we admitted our lives have become unmanageable.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't drive everybody to there. The horse has to go to the water and drink it. I think you can. You know what I mean? I always love that. You can bring the horse there, whether he drinks it or not. It's up to him. But then you said it.
I got a problem.
Help is the fourth dirtiest letter word there is.
Yeah.
To me, I always had a hard time with it.
You know what made me more successful than anything in renovations and then in starting my music business?
What's that?
Is saying I don't know.
Oh, you know what? You're not the smartest guy in the room.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then even if you say you're arguing with your wife or something like that, or you got, I don't know. What do you think?
We don't need to have.
I don't know. You don't have to have
the answers.
Here's the thing: you already know what you know.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you benefit if you just kept your yap and then you're hearing what other people got to say? Then you collect data. So I'm getting better at going, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, because I think the same. I have a hard time with it.
I don't know.
So when someone asks me, I think I have a lot of knowledge, but I have to. I know a guy that is in my business, and he's awesome. Great climber, very knowledgeable. He knows a lot more than me. And it's hard to say sometimes, but if I keep that mentality, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. You said it.
That's a good leader now.
Exactly.
You're humble enough, and you're saying,
Listen
I
to
don't
your
know.
employee. Maybe they got some good ideas if you have employees. But like you have to be willing to do that. And it's just like, but me in my head, I know best. That's how I think. And I have to work on that. And then I'm like, hey, sometimes I say, like, you know, my nephew there, I'm like, say, sorry, man. Like, you know what? You know, tell me again what you're saying. Like, and explain it. Because he's a younger kid, and I'm trying to teach him the things that what we do here and how to be safe and whatnot. But everybody's got some ideas, and it's the old me wouldn't have even entertained it. Like, I've always treated my workers well, but then it's like I struggle with that. I'm not gonna lie. I have to stop myself. So I'm not saying you are ahead, but I don't want to say it in a way where this isn't a race.
No, it's not. We're all good at different things.
It just helps that we're talking about this because it makes me realize to remember why and how to do this again, and how, that teaches patience.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's leadership qualities.
Yeah.
That once you learn that,
and it's hard. I fail at that. You know, I'll go home, and then, you know, the wife will say something, and it doesn't sit right, and then here's me wanting to beak off, right? And like, so it's hard. But I know now, like I'm getting faster at getting there to be just humble.
You're very aware of that,
letting go quicker. So that's part of it. And then I don't know what other advice. Focus on spiritual principles.
I agree.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Like, not just partly honest.
Be honest with yourself.
Be honest
And
with
to
yourself
others.
and then other people too. Like, if someone says, hey, you were supposed to be here at 10 today,
Oh, I hate
or
when
something
people aren't
like
on
that, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, you got some big excuse, or, oh, I thought it was like,
I'd rather not hear your excuse.
Just be super honest,
Yeah.
right? And
I'm late and it's my fault. I'd rather hear that
yeah,
because I'm a big
honesty,
time guy.
right?
Yes, honesty about, like I said,
Open-mindedness.
with other people. I have a hard time being honest with myself. Like in my brain, like, okay, where am I? Like, how am I doing with this work or whatever it is? I can trick myself into different things. Like I can justify and get coastline my own stuff all day long. And that's not like, I'm not saying like it's completely dishonest, which it is, because it's not the right, you're not thinking right. It's being dishonest to yourself. That's what I struggle with.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm too
Honesty.
honest.
Oh yes,
I
honest
am.
with yourself.
Like,
yeah, like
I'm
someone
too-
who's like, oh, I'm totally out of shape, but it's like must be my genetics, and it's like,
No.
is it though?
No. There's, I mean, not even,
No, I mean-
I get it. That's a great way to look at it, man. I know that I'm not in the greatest shape right now. And
You're doing pretty good. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well, wintertime, because that's another trait that I have that's bad. I look at myself, my appearance of my weight is I've always struggled with it. Not that I'm even, okay, so other people look at me like, Dad, like my kids, like, you look great. Like, other people would like to look at you. I'm like,
Yeah.
as far as like what you're doing, you look healthy.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way. I pack on 10 pounds in the winter, and I'm like, oh man,
Oh yeah.
it sucks. Do you feel a little bit of that?
Oh yeah. I get the winter. I feel worse than the summer.
Me too.
100%. I feel tired. I feel sluggish. I feel.
I need something to feel good about. I have to go work or do something, and it's like, damn.
And I can get out of that funk today, whereas I used to go use with the bottle or some negative coping mechanism, because I just wanted to kind of like, I didn't know how to get out of that. But anyways, yeah, the winter's like that. So we hit honesty, right? Open-mindedness. So if you're going to get help at something, try not to think you have the answers, right? And then try to lose you don't have these answers now. So a lot of people want to go into recovery
like that.
and they go like this. They go, oh, okay, I want to get clean because I want this and this back. And yeah, okay, I can see how I got to stop using. Oh, I can see how
They already got all the answers.
You know,
Why
I
are you
can
here?
see this, but then they go, but I'm not going to go forgiving anybody. Or they're not going to, this whole like higher power thing.
Yeah.
They're like, no. And they get stuck there. So I don't want to go too far off.
No,
But
I get it.
be like this kind of, because this took me a long time. I tried to get it clean a few times, but finally,
Me too.
finally I was like, okay, what the word reservations means, what reservations do you have? And then you go, oh wow, I'm holding on to a lot of reservations. I'm not doing like half of what I got to do to get better in my life, whether it's your business, whether it's maybe staying clean, maybe it's mental health, whatever.
Inventory or whatever. And, yeah.
Like, do all the things. You think you can run your business but not change the tires on your truck once in a while?
No.
You got to change them.
I'm so big on that. Preventative maintenance.
Right?
Maintenance of you.
That'd be a reservation if you're like, I'm not changing the
Good
tires.
analogy. Yeah. You know what? Because you can, like, if that's basically you, like, letting go of, like, you starting to slack off of not doing your own maintenance,
things.
your spiritual maintenance.
Yes.
Like, I love it. Like, I love people that go to church. I don't go anymore. It's been a long time. I just gotta admit it. But I believe in that spirituality, and I don't judge on anybody who believes in anything else. I don't, because it's their right.
I agree.
Okay, so I just know that when I go, there's something
I'm not
there.
judgy either, yeah.
I feel
Try not to be.
freaking great when I leave, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling guilty a little bit of things.
Yeah, you should come out to my church.
Where's
We
your
got a big band.
Do you?
Yeah, we do the church services
No, I'll be too
at
greedy. I'll be up
Devonshire.
there. No, I won't.
We do the church services at Devonshire Mall in the movie theater.
Oh, what is it called?
It's called Exchange Church.
How long has that been around?
6 years.
How did
5,
really?
6
Who started
years.
that?
Their names
the
are
community.
Drew Riak and Brad Watson. And
Is it based on Christianity?
Yeah, it is. But I'll say this is that it's like minimal religiosity and then maximum relational.
Love it.
So it's like we have sweaters
basics.
that say it's crossed out religion with an X and then exchanging religion for relationship. So relationship this way.
I love it.
And then relationship this way. And then our band, the band is sweet. We got a full band, electric guitars on stage, big drum set, and we do all like the big worship hits of today.
You know what?
It's beautiful.
Hey, Christian music is good.
It's wonderful.
I've always, like, literally, I've always loved it. Hymns, actually.
Yeah.
I'll cry to these things sometimes.
I know.
Because it's like they're so spiritually lifting. They are. And the biggest struggle I ever had when I came out, like when I was in Brentwood, I used to do the church, their Catholic church on Sunday. I love it because I needed something. Then when I came out and I listened to great music, I'm in tears. I'm like, Dad, you cry? I'm like,
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it brings you to it. But it's like tears of joy for the most part. They really are. But one question I did want to ask you, just to kind of sum things up at the end here. With I've been thinking of this question for a little bit here. So when I go home, my day is done. My daughter's really good at this. She's like, Dad, how was your day? The first one that asks, what's up?
No, sorry, something hit my foot. I thought it was I thought it was your foot. I wanted to make sure we weren't playing
I think we did earlier. We did
I'll
earlier.
keep no, sorry. Ask me that again, though.
So my daughter is very good at this. She when she comes home, first thing she says is, Dad, how was your day? I'm like, why don't I ever beat her to it? She has to remind me to do that. And then same thing with Helen. I have a hard time always. I am attentive and I do listen, but I'm a big ADHD guy. I can zone out pretty quick.
Yeah.
If we're not talking about my interests as much as yours, now this is easy to listen to for me because we relate a lot to the same thing. I've been listening to every single word you say. I haven't.
Yeah.
I might have zoned out for a minute. Here and there.
We're on the same.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then even with Helen, like, it's like
I think every guy
the story's going
struggles.
through. I think so too. And it's like, but it's an hour now. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, all right. She's a nurse too. She's got some good stories. She's got bad.
Yeah,
like
my
some,
wife too.
Oh,
but then
man.
I'll hear something that I don't know about, and then I start thinking about my own thing.
And we sum our stuff up pretty quick,
Our
right?
Fred Flintstone mindset, right? We're like, what about fishing? Like, we're
So it's
over
not
here.
just us. It's just about every
Might
man.
be most guys. It's give yourself some grace on that. But I like what you said though. The awareness you had is my daughter asks me how my day was, and then I have to remember to ask her.
Yeah, I do.
And so you're peeling the onion
Almost every day.
You're peeling the onion layer off. Just wrestling with that.
And I was going to say that don't beat yourself up too hard. Maybe that's some advice for people that are getting into a journey of getting better is don't beat yourself. Life's not perfect, man. We always working on ourselves, even though, you know what I mean? People look at other people and I look at other people and it's like, you're doing so well. Not just in like money-wise, like in life, I see happiness. And it's like, sometimes I look at that as, I wish I was at that point, but I am at that point.
Okay. I thought you were saying a certain amount of money.
No, that's what I wasn't saying. When I look at it that way, I got my family back in my life. I got
man.
those things. They mean more to me now
Priceless.
than they did. When I was younger, like they were just they're a family, and we got another family gathering. When we go to our family gathering, it's a blast, dude. Like usually it's a good time, man, and I love it. And our family's never been that way, but anyway, so it's funny that you said that, but we are gonna sum things up. What time we got anyway? We have 12:03. Oh my God, I can't.
Did we do good? All
Yeah,
right.
I think we did great. Hopefully,
Yeah, we
I
did,
think it
man.
will. So quickly, any future plans? Like as far as what you're doing now, just kind of status quo.
Yeah. Future plans is like
Starting your own podcast. I'm just kidding.
yeah. I mean, going and growing with my business.
Yeah.
Right. And keeping the focus on helping others, because that seems to be the secret sauce to it.
It is.
And then, yeah, I guess my future plans, I don't really have anything
Like,
crazy.
so
Here's some just not serious plans.
Yeah.
I'm getting back into the hunting and fishing.
Are you really?
Big time. Yeah. And because my son's 10 and he's starting to be of age where it's fun. And we got a dog, we got a lab,
Cool.
a yellow lab, and he's young. And so I'm thinking for like the next 10 years while he's growing up, that's going to be a big side
Do you
hobby
still have
for
all
us.
the gear from back then?
A lot of it, yeah,
Good.
a lot of it.
So it didn't
but I got to
disappear
get the
like
boats.
your
We
stuff.
just got a fishing boat. It was pretty. We got a good deal. It was used. It's an oldie but a goodie, and then we're gonna get a nice little hunting duck boat.
Yeah. I gotta
So-
get you on my brother's boat. He's got a 50-foot Scout, 3 motors on, but he loves fishing. Anyway, go
that's
ahead.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
he's a great humble guy too, and story for another day. But so that's gonna get back in your life because that's like you're tying yourself right to your kid. If he loves that, that's double the joy, man.
Yeah,
Is that's kind of what's bringing it back to you?
yeah, because it's giving me a real good reason to do it, and I have a hard time doing anything if it's just for me. Like I have a hard time. Like
I know,
you
me
won't
too.
catch me like going to do something. It's like
Me,
it's
I
all
know.
about my kids now, or with someone,
Well-
or for someone, and
When you have a child, I always say you find out how selfish you really were before you had a child. Because you lay down just about everything in your life because you have a kid and you're doing everything for them.
yeah.
Especially early on, and all your life. But and they take care of you later on, right? That's
Yeah.
supposed to- I want to ask, how's your dad doing? By the way, I haven't seen him in so long.
Dad's doing great.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, Dad's doing great. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he still at Enneagram or is he retired?
No, he's still at Enneagram.
Yeah?
he's
Causing
still at
storms?
Enneagram. Yeah, he's.
I love that. Is he still part of
I know
the
you do.
association?
I know you know about. Just from the side, not
That's how he
not
was,
technically.
yeah.
He was from the side.
think he's,
he was
had
the head
enough
of
of
it for a
Oh,
while,
yeah.
right? And now he's.
He had a voice though, man.
Yeah,
Your dad had balls of steel, man. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, man.
he did.
He would walk. He was the right guy for the job.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. No one was more vocal than that guy, and he, like I said, he was a great guy for that. But then I think after everything happened, he's just like, I'm gonna, like you said, sidelines is perfect. So
yeah.
so that's good. But anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up. Just usually don't do this, but I like that some of ChatGPT. You ever use it?
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
I don't like even though you get like how many questions, this thing knows me, man. When I ask it, I talk like I talk now. So yesterday, I'm just gonna say this.
It's crazy.
I'm
Now,
like,
is it
hey-
like a free version or is there a paid version?
There's
for Chat?
both.
Oh, okay.
So you get so many free questions of anything. So yesterday, so you just do long questions.
Yeah.
I go like this. All right, so tomorrow I'm having a podcast with my buddy Brian. I haven't seen him in years. We've both had some addiction issues. And can you outline me in point form of questions that if I get lost that I can ask him so I can quickly
crazy.
redirect? And then at the end of everything I say, I'm like, come on, man, you know you can do this. Be creative. I say it just like that. And he talks like me.
Whoa.
I know. It's like my buddy. Helen's like, that's not good. I'm like, it works for me.
I think it's a greet tool.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So we just talked about fun. Then I asked it some random facts. See, this is another thing. So I'm thinking if we run out of things to say, which I knew we wouldn't, because we can go a lot longer.
We didn't.
both
We
know
could have
that.
went long.
So, but I wanted to ask you some fun things. I'm like, okay, like this. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Living on a
Like-
prayer.
Yeah, could you write
Bon Jovi.
Really, just like that. You had that answer like that.
Well, it was just, I think it would be, but I don't do karaoke. It's just kind of.
No, I mean like your band. Like I'm in your music and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it is. It's one of my favorite. We used to do that at Enneagram all the time on the line.
You played that.
We would shut down the line, and then everyone would sing that on midnights.
We used to play our guns. I remember playing the air gun back in the day, man. I could have died doing that. What was I thinking? All right, so I don't know. So I don't want to ask those questions. They're just okay. So I could do a little. I want to do a little quick fire round with you. You
Let's
up for
do it. Yeah, let's do
so,
it.
favorite band of all time?
Tool.
Song you never want to hear again.
Macarena.
Dream venue to perform in.
Fillmore, Detroit.
Right on. Pizzas or tacos?
Pizza.
Pizza guy. I'm half Mexican, Mennonite, so so I'm the other way around. But I love pizza too.
I love tacos though. Can we make a taco pizza?
Yeah, we can do both. Most overrated instrument. Is there one?
Yeah. Oh, I'm really love instruments.
I know.
Let's go overrated. Dang.
That's a hard question.
The bassoon.
What's that? I don't even know what
It's
that
not even overrated. It's an orchestral instrument.
I know ones I don't like.
Okay, overrated. I don't know. I don't think so. It's so creative for me. I can't do that. Yeah, I pass.
It's a hard answer because you have respect for the music. It's
oh my gosh, I can see the
anybody can use
in
any kind
every
of thing.
instrument. My wife would say ukulele, and I love the ukulele.
I know those things. I love them too. I don't play that, but I can a little bit, but not much. Worst advice you've ever been given? I know.
Here's the worst advice I've ever been given. Don't do it.
Oh my God, that's a great answer.
I heard
great
that.
answer.
I heard that when I was starting my studio, and I was asking someone who has a studio, and I was saying, "Hey, I want to get into the game." And I don't think to be fair, I don't think they knew what I was capable of in terms of teaching and how I could fill like the school aspect of it and make
and
it
your
work.
personality too is outgoing with that.
Well, and I said, hey, I want to get in the studio, and they're like, don't do it. And I'm like, you're making a living at it. And they're like, yeah, but it's headaches and this and that. And there was not a bit of like, here's why it's great. It would almost be like someone asking you,
I know,
hey, should I start my own podcast? And you go, no, man, it sucks.
Dude,
it's like
it's like
why
that
would
in
you
everything.
do that to anyone's dream?
And someone close to you, most of the times, a lot of people that are close
I've
to
had
you.
people tell me not to do music.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and say, oh, this again, and
You're
like,
a rock star.
yeah,
I'll grab you my guitar right now. We can prove anybody wrong here. Anybody wrong.
So it's perspective too, and here's the thing: is I'll say this is one thing I find very sad, and I see it a lot, is the amount of students I have, and they have their parents sign them up for music lessons or singing lessons, but when they go home, I know the message is like, yeah, but you can't be a singer, and it's like,
kill a dream.
Why?
Why?
Let him shoot. You know what my dad did? And he did this right. He's like, he saw me liking I loved baseball as a kid.
Yeah.
He said, be a Major League Baseball player. He
Oh,
said
I
that for
love
like 10 years. And meanwhile, it was probably like 0 to no chance. But at the same time, he never said that. He said, be a Major League ball. That's what you'll do. And then you know what it did though?
Yeah.
I became a very good pitcher and shortstop for my travel ball team. I was like the starting pitcher and shortstop. So they were like, so here's the thing, because I was shooting at the moon, I landed on the mountaintop.
I love it. Oh my God.
Stop telling your kids not to be a singer when they're older. Tell them they're a singer.
You're never gonna. I love it. Like even with hockey players, the kids, like, don't tell them that the chances are next to none. They are, but if you give them a little bit more motivation and give them some like they'll shoot higher.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's a great answer, buddy. Okay, so I'm going to sum it up. Where can we reach you, Brian, to listen to your music? I'm going to put the links below, but just like vocally here, like what's your Facebook? Just Brian Jacques? Do you have some music on there?
So you can find me personally on Facebook if you like.
Do you have another channel?
But if you want to go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, use these letters.
Keywords,
it's B, like the letter B, and then JOX, as in JOX. It's a short form.
Jocks. Like,
I
like
had
as in high school
form
jocks. You're a jock.
JOX, yeah.
Oh, JOX, sorry.
B Jacques Music.
I'm going to put that on there.
It's
like
my
that.
artist name because there was so many Brian Jacques's out there, and it was like a little too French. Yeah, there was a couple that were like my age making music, and I'm like, I don't want it to be too hard for people to find me. So, and even if you want to come and see my studio, go to
I am coming over
bjoxmusic.com.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is on this description, as you say those words, I'm going to put them right at
nice.
And then, but I'll also
you
link
are
it.
Technically savvy, bro.
I've learned. It takes a long time.
Cutting trees and doing podcasts.
Is it okay? Is it okay if I put a video and link that right in the podcast at the end, so they can actually just click it?
Yeah,
and then you can just tell me which video you want to do, and I can do it.
Yeah.
So
that my latest single, "Kind to Me."
Yeah,
that one is going around right now.
Is that the last one we just? It's incredible, dude.
Thank you.
Like I listened to it yesterday. I said, "Oh," I said, "Man, I forgot how good this guy was." Not just like I said, your vocals were amazing.
Well, thank you.
I was like, I don't know, man. I just forgot. And it's like, because I haven't seen you in so long.
It's all good, yeah.
So we can reach you that way, and I'm going to link all that. And then honestly, YouTube is all about, you know what, networking, and then you have to push it on your end too. The video only goes as far as how hard you work with it. Now, you can have a great video of us. This is great content, but if we don't expose that, and if you don't share it, I've told a lot of people this. I can only push your content and your show, what we're doing here, with my people as far as I can.
I know. Same here. Same here.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
But this opens avenues. So if you don't push this out now, have you ever been on a podcast?
On a podcast?
Podcast.
One other. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a different kind of okay, so you're going to share this. I'm hoping you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll talk about this after. We'll set up a link and whatnot, and then we know how to share. I talked to you about it earlier. But anyway, thanks a lot for coming out, man. It's been great to get back together with you. And honestly, I think I'm going to have a really good rest of the day.
I hope you do.
I haven't talked to somebody like this in a while, and it just brings back a lot of love and everything like that, and realism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, buddy.
It's real good to talk to somebody real.
It's easy to talk to.
Real hugs. You know what I mean? Man hugs. We can hug, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, man hugs are great.
Brian, thanks a lot for coming out, man. We'll see you guys next time. We'll put all the things below, and have a great day, people.
Yep.